Hi guys, Matt here, and welcome to episode 101 of my fragrance obsession. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a 1993 fragrance that is actually a pheromone fragrance. And in case you guys don't know what a pheromone fragrance is, we are going to look into that. But this is a fragrance called Realm Men by Erox. Now, Realm Men came out in 1993, the same year I was born. And this is a very different fragrance. I remember getting this from America and didn't really know a lot about it. It was actually a blind buy, but after looking at reviews online, a lot of people said that the smell was really nice. They said that longevity was good, compliment getter, one of the greats of the 1990s. But I'd never heard of it, and I was just like, well, I like the bottle design, I like the name, it sounds really captivating. I think I'll get myself a bottle, and it was only like $12, so, and that's 100 ml, so it's not bad. But what's my views on it now? Well, let me tell you, this is a very good fragrance. Now, I remember wearing this for a night out, and I didn't get a lot of compliments, but I did get a few. I remember a lot of people came up to me and said things like, you smell good. But nothing like, wow, what are you wearing? You know, like really good compliments. A lot of the compliments were pretty positive, not like over positive. So it is a compliment getter. It does smell really nice. However, longevity is not the best. I get about 5 hours out of this, guys. But to be fair, it is a cologne, so this isn't an outer toilette. 5 hours is a good time for a cologne. So it is a good fragrance, however. We are going to get into a little bit about the notes, but I want to tell you guys about the company of Erox. So Erox were a company that specialize in making products, mostly cosmetics, so they make perfumes, fragrances, stuff like that. They even make deodorants. But they specialize in making products that are supposed to attract you or meant to arouse men and women into feeling attracted to one another. So that's when the pheromones come in. In case you guys don't know what pheromones are, I'll tell you what a pheromone is now. Well, a pheromone is a type of chemical that's put into a fragrance that's supposed to mix with your natural smell, and it's supposed to make you attracted, or attractive, I should say, to the opposite sex. Now, I do have this fragrance, and I also have another pheromone fragrance called Jovan Sex Appeal, which also has pheromones in it, but apparently they're supposed to work. They're supposed to actually really make you feel attracted. But the thing is, you've also got to think, I mean, this fragrance came out in 1993. Tastes in fragrances have changed rapidly. I mean, if you go out on a night out, people will be wearing, I don't know, 1 million Invictus, a lot of newer fragrances. The chances of somebody wearing this, especially in my local city, are very slim, because this fragrance is hard to find in the UK because it is an American fragrance. But you've got to think about tastes in what women would like these days, and I don't think this one is necessarily up there with the likes of 1 million Invictus. But I've never been in that position where a pheromone has actually worked, if I'm honest. So I can't really say too much, but I mean, I've looked at reviews and what men have actually said about it, and they say every day that it works. So it must depend on, climate, where you are in the world, tastes in fragrances to certain people. That's all really important, and, hunky-dory and everything. But this is a nice fragrance, and I don't want to talk I want to talk a bit about the smell instead of talking about the pheromone, because that's not what this is about. I want to talk about the smell, I want to talk a little bit about the bottle design, so we'll get into it now. So here we go. So this fragrance is called Realm Men by Erox. This is a very unique bottle. It does have some nice factors about it, and it also has a very annoying factor, which I'll get onto in a second. But it's a really cool bottle. It's solid glass. It's clear here, but it's like when you turn it, it goes red, and I really like that. And that's obviously due to the fact that red is a very romantic color. It's very, it's a lustful color, if you know what I mean. Sorry, I know that sounds really weird, but it's true, But this fragrance, I really like the bottle design. However, it is awkward to spray because you've really got to, really get in there. Now let's look at what's inside this fragrance. So looking at the notes, here we go. So the first note, well, no in particular order, but the notes you are going to get in this fragrance are ginger, orange, lavender, patchouli, juniper, and human pheromone. Okay, so just before I continue and talk about the smell and everything, just so you guys know, human pheromone actually does not have a smell. It's just an ingredient, and it's an ingredient just like the alcohol or the water, whatever else goes into a fragrance. It's just like that. So don't worry about that. You'll probably be thinking, what does it smell like? It doesn't smell like anything. Now this fragrance, I'm going to spray some right here in my hand, and we'll talk about what's in it. So here we go. This is Realm for Men by Erox, launched back in 1993. Now, this is a strange fragrance. Very strange fragrance, because not in terms of the smell, but in terms of genre. Like, sometimes when I spray this, I get different genres. Sometimes I get an aquatic vibe. Sometimes I get a spicy vibe. Sometimes I get a, woody vibe. It's really strange, right? Like, right now, I'm getting this strange sort of Calvin Klein Obsession vibe from the fragrance. But that's starting to go away, like, really quickly. As soon as I sprayed it, I got that sort of, that cinnamon that Calvin Klein Obsession has. That sort of musk that it has. Like right now, I'm starting to get this sort of orange and this lavender. Like, it's really out there. It's a really bold scent. It's got a bit of a crispiness to it. It's quite powdery as well. Yeah, that's weird. That obsession vibe's completely gone now. Like, I don't get any form of obsession in this anymore, which is really strange, but it smells very bright. It smells like a fresh scent. That orange is there, but that lavender creates this sort of powdery floral. In terms of the other notes, so patchouli, juniper. Yeah, so in terms of the patchouli and juniper, not a lot. Maybe a tiny bit of patchouli, but whenever I smell patchouli, I think of something like Giorgio for Men by Giorgio Beverly Hills, where it's really pungent patchouli. I don't get it like I do in this. This one is pretty much just this ginger, orange, and lavender fragrance. But I do get a sort of amber note in this as well. Now, I think that's due to the fact that this fragrance does dry down to a very sweet fragrance. And obviously amber is a perfect base note to have in creating a sweet dry down. So I feel like it's going to revolve around this amber sort of note. Even though it's not listed in the fragrance list, I do feel like it's going to show up pretty soon. But so far, it's just that ginger, orange, and lavender sort of creating this strange combination. However, smells really good. It's a really nice fragrance, guys, and I think that if you're wanting a fragrance which has a bit of character to it and is very different, but does necessarily smell a little bit dated, it's not completely like recent, if you know what I mean. So it's not up there with the Armani Code. It's not up there with the Invictus and the Paco Rabanne and maybe the 212 by the Carolina Herrera, like typical party scents. But I do feel like this fragrance could be worn on a night out, I think, in a nightclub. I really do, because it does have a very nice aura to it. So I think depending on those three notes, so that ginger, the lavender, and the orange, it does create this nice vibe. So I would recommend this fragrance if you want something different. So guys, this is Realm Men by Erox. This is a fragrance that came out in 1993. It is actually produced by 5 Star Fragrance Company, along with Vicky Teal's Ulysses. So if you are wanting to try this fragrance, just know that it does smell good. Longevity isn't the best, however, but it does have a nice smell from beginning to end. So if you want a fragrance which does have a nice smell and is different and does have that bit of character to it, go for Realm Men. It's a really nice fragrance. So guys, thank you so much for watching my fragrance obsession, episode 101. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of this fragrance, and if you guys want to know anything else about it, let me know and I'll get back to you. So thank you so much for watching this episode on Realm Men by Erox. Take care of yourselves, guys, keep smelling good, and bye bye for now.